You see, I'm brand new to Project Zomboid. I actually tried to apply to be in one of those 100 people survive and create civilization videos, but I got denied because I only have an hour in the game. Fair enough. So I decided I might as well log on and get some hours in the game. I mean, how hard can it be?
No, God, please,
After
no,
many deaths, I finally had a run I felt good about. So let's find out. How long can a complete noob survive the Zomboid apocalypse? After looting my spawn house, which I totally did not forget to record, no idea what you're talking about, I decided it was actually a pretty nice place. It had everything a man could want in the apocalypse. A washing machine, a little upstairs bar area, and even a TV. For a brief moment, it felt like the world was still normal. Sure, that illusion would vanish once the power and water cut out, but hey, the little victories still count. Determined to survive, I set up my base. I even got a radio going so I'd know exactly when to expect the infamous noob killer helicopter. And trust me, I have heard plenty about this not even knowing about the game. And once everything was set up and organized, I set off to explore the neighborhood and immediately got into my first Zomboid scuffle. Yeah, after that lovely introduction to the locals, I realized I needed to get my priorities straight. Power and water weren't gonna last forever, so I figured my first goals should be stockpiling containers and non-perishable food. It's funny how quickly the apocalypse turns you into a minimalist. Suddenly it's not about what you want, it's about what won't kill you. The only things in the next house, of course, were a pot of soup and zomboids. But I did find a suitcase. So I packed it up and hauled it back to the base. And after a little bit of sorting, I was ready to hit another potential treasure trove. And that's when I found a gun case with a gun. Now, I have no idea what guns are good in this game, but I do know I need to train to even use one properly. So naturally, I decided to hoard every gun I came across. Dropped the case by my front door because I'm lazy, kept moving. I found an open window and started looting. Another gun? I thought these were supposed to be rare. But beggars cannot be choosers. Once I was finished looting this place, I dropped everything off back at my base. I kept searching the neighborhood and had my first close call.
No.
Yeah, I will not be going back there. The good news, the house across the street looked boarded up, which obviously means better loot, right? I'm pretty sure. And boy, was it my lucky day. The garage was open. And at this point, I was starving, sweating through my clothes, thirstier than can be, more panicked than I could have imagined. But I braved it. The house wasn't so bad, so I went full loot goblin mode. I even stole some curtains that surely wouldn't come back to bite me in the butt later. And after finding gun after gun after gun, I was feeling good. Top of the world, you might say. I decided to press my luck and carry all the guns at one time back to my base. And just when I thought I was the luckiest man alive, the Zomboid gods reminded me why pride goeth before the fall. I was extremely encumbered, barely able to move. One Zomboid was on my tail and I saw a pack right in front of my base. Great. I began dropping my weapons in a panic, hoping to lighten the load. Even 2 zombies felt like too much to handle in my current state, but I had no choice. In survival, ambition is just greed with a longer fuse. As I was praying I wouldn't pull the pack while I was fighting just the 2 here, another zombie snuck up on me. At this point, I couldn't take all 3. I bolted back from my base as quickly as I could. As quickly as I could, I started dropping everything in my inventory, hoping to lighten the load even more, praying the window would hold long enough. Great. At least I could easily take out the zomboids in this position. Hopefully now I'd have more time to drop some stuff. Well, at least now I could take them out one by one. How did so many show up so fast? I really wanted to save the windows because frankly, I don't know how to repair them yet. Gear was hitting the floor, I was out of stamina, and reality hit me hard. I rushed to save my other window. Damn it. Greed is the silent killer in Zomboid. It wasn't the zombies that got me into this mess. It was thinking I could carry it all. One extra trip would have saved me this whole disaster. If I died here, it would have been entirely my fault. But I survived. Barely. I had no clue how to tell if I was infected, so I just assumed you needed to be bitten to turn. Not true, apparently. I covered the broken windows, took a deep breath, and suddenly this cozy little house I had felt like a haunted shelter. Survival isn't about comfort, it's about momentum. You either adapt or you die trying. After a close call, I took the night to think about my situation. One more mistake could be my last. Now, I know I just moved everything from the barricaded house, but I realized that should have been my home from the start. It had everything my current place had, plus barricaded windows. And again, I don't know how to repair windows, so the only thing I'd miss was the washer and dryer. There's just something weirdly hopeful about washing your clothes in the apocalypse. When the world falls apart, even mundane chores feel like tiny rebellions against chaos. I hadn't even used them yet, but just knowing I could wash my shirt gave me hope. Still, the new place was just across the street. The dream wasn't dead, just delayed. I gathered my things and headed towards the new house, almost making the same exact mistake. Overloaded, and with zombies closing in. I dropped my stuff, cleared a path, and then tried again. Man, now I really wish I didn't move those curtains. And once I got to my new base, I pretty much threw all of my belongings into a pile and started the long process of sorting. And 30 minutes later, I sat down with a book. Finally, peace. There's something almost spiritual about standing still in Zomboid. Among the constant threat of death, learning can feel like a luxury, like washing your clothes. It's a small act that says, I'm still human. And shortly after, I found that there's a marketplace right behind the house. Jackpot! But due to my excessive munching, I attracted some puppies and kittens who proceeded to break a window. I decided I would leave it alone for now. What came next was kind of a blur, running from one pack of zomboids into another and then back again, a relentless cycle I had to break. Eventually I lost them, found a house to duck into, broke line of sight, and slowly limped back to my base. And gave mercy to the zombies that followed me. I found out how to disinfect rags, and shouldn't I need like a pot holder for this, or am I tripping? Feeling a bit more confident, I went out again looking for adventure, and found it banging on my garage door. I found some pretty good tools from this garage, apartment, whatever building, and then found a cool gated neighborhood that was way too overrun for me to try to take on now. But overall, I was happy with what I found. I placed my tools neatly in the pile on my floor. And that evening, I did the usual. Drink water, eat snacks, but something felt off. I realized I was stressed. I was scared. What could I do to make things feel normal again? And as I looked over my character, covered in blood, dirt, filth, that's when it hit me. This is it. This is the moment to do laundry, my little post-apocalyptic vacation. Sometimes surviving means doing something just because it feels right. Something pointless, something kind, like washing your clothes while reading a book, half naked in a world that is falling apart. That is all I wanted. So I tossed my clothes into the washer, cleaned myself off, and sat down to read. Nothing beats sitting in your boxers with a good book to escape the end of the world. But even the quietest moments echo with the loudest threats. When things feel most normal, that's when you forget to check the window. I panicked, naked and afraid. 2 zombies, not bad. I definitely did not have time to grab my clothes, so I hopped out the window, improvised. I'd figured that they would follow me, but where were they? Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's even worse. I did my best to loop around to grab my clothes, but I couldn't open the window in time. I ran around to get in the garage. I left it locked. And once I got in the bay, surprise, surprise, it was not empty. Panicking, I bandaged myself up. I took a deep breath. I figured I could sneak through the garage once I was finished with the bandage. Surely it couldn't be that many zomboids. I was wrong. I juked him to the side and tried to run out, but fatally tripped. I'd lived a full life in Zomboid, however short. I made a home. I gathered supplies. I even took comfort in the small routines, like reading books and doing laundry. I learned that survival isn't just about killing zombies. It's about staying humble and never underestimating how fast everything can go wrong. I learned that greed is dangerous, comfort is fleeting, and pride can get you killed faster than any bite ever could. And in Zomboid, life doesn't end in fire and glory, it ends in hesitation. You never hear the final mistake until it's behind you. You think you have one more trip in you, one more corner to peek, one more second to react, but death here is quiet. It wears your clothes, shambles in your shoes, and forgets your name. I tried. I failed. And now, I walk among the dead.